everyone. My name is Briana Boone, and I'm here with my co-workers Joe Limboely and Cody Crawford, and we're going to be talking about the collaborative technology plan that we would like to implement into the Astoria School District. Now, the first thing is our mission. Our mission is to create an engaging and innovative education program that incorporates technology to advance student learning and creativity. Now, what this means is that we are creating an entirely new plan that's going to focus on introducing technology into the classroom, as well as a district-wide initiative to make sure that Wi-Fi as well as devices are available to these students. Now, our vision is very simple. We want to create productive members of society. This is also referenced in the Astoria School District Standards and Mission. We want to foster new age thinkers. New age thinkers in a sense that we are in a digital age where students would like to collaborate with technology, or they always have phones in their hands. This is for us to be able to create thinkers who are able to think outside of the box rather than just paper and pencil. And finally, we want to inspire students. We want to inspire students to be the best that they can be while incorporating technology into their everyday lives. So how do we do this? Well, the first thing we would need to do is meet the needs of learners. So we do have an issue where some students do not have access to technology, and technology is proven to assist in closing the achievement gap between different minorities. So by meeting the needs of the learners within the classroom, we can expect to see their achievement increase exponentially. Another thing we would like to do is create a community. Now, creating a community is not only strictly within a school or a classroom, it is throughout the entire world. We would like to get everyone involved in the school and also students to get involved in the world itself and just collaborate with the people that they interact with online. And finally, we want to foster development. Fostering development means that we would like students to learn, to explore, to actually ask questions rather than just reading something on Google. So, in order for us to do this, we need to focus on our goals. So, we have 3 goals. The first is to create a student-centered one-on-one environment. Our second is to empower students academically. And the third is to encourage collaboration. Now, when it comes to these goals, we did have to sit down and think about it. What should be our main 3 goals? Because honestly, we can incorporate a number of goals here. But we're focused on ensuring that the student succeeds. We want our students to be able to go into the world with 21st century skills and be able to contribute to the growing landscape that is technology. So I would like to go into detail about our goals. Our first goal is creating a student-centered environment. This is extremely important to us because we want to make sure that student success is our focus. We want students to be able to succeed, to achieve while using technology. And there's several research that shows this, but I'm just going to talk about 2. The first one is by Velosa et al. They studied several responses regarding technology, and it's found that these students have more of a responsibility to have higher engagement, greater pride, and even furthermore, well-being. And this is one of the things that we want to create in our learning spaces. Another factor is mobile device usage. Studies show that using devices allows for students to become more engaged in teaching interactions rather than just staring at a teacher, listening to them drone on and on. We are focused on getting our students engaged in a way that they have more than likely grown up in. So what are our expectations? We expect our students to own themselves, to be able to own different devices. We expect an increase in district scores, which is important. And we also expect a positive effect on learning outcomes. So our second goal is that we want to empower students. We want to empower them, but not overload them. Now I know what you're thinking. What do I mean by this? When I mean we want to empower students, we want them to be able to contribute to society as a whole, but we also want them to feel good about themselves about doing it. We don't want to burden them with grades and Fs, and while we can use assessments to definitely go into these different factors, we don't want that to be the only thing that we use in order for them to succeed. So one of the things that I do want to talk about is a study by Bidwy et al. A study that happened in 2019 that focused on students who utilize facets of a smart classroom, such as PowerPoints, presentations, utilizing scanners and such. They are more likely to be engaged. They're more likely to be motivated, and even more ask teacher questions. Asking questions has been proven to be one of the greatest ways for students to receive feedback and further improve themselves. Another is to integrate instructional technologies. Students who are able to visually see what is going on are more likely to succeed. For instance, we can incorporate games, or we can incorporate visual effects in the classroom for students to be more engaged in learning about their technology while also caring about the curriculum, quite frankly. And what do we expect from this? We expect increased participation because students will be more inclined to have fun in the classroom. We expect increased morale. We don't want students to think that grades are the only indicator of their success. We want them to feel as though they are needed, as though they are doing a great job in school, and that an assessment or a test or quiz is only a secondary factor that we do implement and take into consideration. And finally, we want to see more integrated technology in lesson plans. There's no surprise that the digital age is taking over, but we do want to definitely get on that train. And teachers will be more inclined to use Prezi, Blackboard, and several other web tools that can help their students. And finally, we want to encourage collaboration. So students should feel comfortable with collaborating with people inside and outside of the classroom. I do want to paint a picture for you. Let's say a student has a question about Shakespeare, and the students may give their opinions. However, someone else in 12th grade may give a different opinion that would educate that student. We want to create this space for students to be able to collaboratively give their ideas and be furthermore encouraged to do so with others. There's several studies, but I'm only going to talk about two, that Glowatz and Boffin stated that students who engage and use online web tools are more inclined to be more engaged into their school. They care about their peers more, and generally they just feel better about themselves when they are collaborating with others. Another one is introducing social media. While these students may not be on social media all of the time, especially in the classroom, we definitely want to establish that students can reach out to administrators or people, or even be more involved in their school by understanding events. Because in a study by Sampasa Kania, Chaput, and Hamilton, they found that these students who were more connected within social media had positive academic outcomes, higher grades. They progress more. They're more likely to talk to their peers about their work and generally how they feel about everything. And finally, our expectations for this last goal is that we want students to be engaged. We want them to care. And we believe that this will be a new way to get students to care about their work and their academics. And generally, we want to see them succeed. That's what we all want. And we strongly believe, and the research shows that implementing this plan is the best way to do that. So I will go ahead and pass this on to my colleague, Joe Limboely, and he will talk to you more about the timeline, followed by Cody Crawford, who will talk to you about the budget and generally what we are looking for in terms of implementing this plan. Thank you for listening.
Members of the school board, my name is Joe Limboely, and I will be talking to you about the timeline and implementation for our next 5 years from 2019 to 2024. During the first 2 years, we will focus on upgrading and improving the school infrastructure, including teacher and selected student computers, wireless internet, and software applications. During the next 2 years, we will continue updating and implementing infrastructure while focusing resources on professional development, ready our educators to become comfortable with the new technologies and how best to use them in the classroom. The final year, we will finalize our one-to-one implementation and assess its impact. To give a little more detail on our professional development plan for staff, we go to the staff training slide section where we look at our initial needs assessment by our IT department. They will begin training in the following areas: training on the use of mobile technologies to collaborate with colleagues, students, and parents. PD that reviews the best educational technology applications available to use in the classroom. And lastly, we will provide and offer a quarterly refresher professional development to update on the latest technologies to use in the classroom. Lastly, we conclude our 5-year plan, and we expect to see the following goals: one-to-one technology implemented throughout the school. All educators will be fully trained and comfortable using new technologies in their daily classrooms. And lastly, to have a proven system in place to assess the effectiveness of new technologies and a process for continuous improvement.
The next thing we'll talk about would be the budget for the implementation of this technology plan. The budget for the technology plan is expected to be dispersed over the course of 5 years. The total investment over this period is $3,551,148. This will include the hardware and software needed, as well as the cost to update the networks to handle the data. The total cost will be split between 3 goals. Goal 1 implementation will consist of the materials needed to update the networks to boost the speed of the data sharing. This will allow the system to handle the load of the information. The total cost of Goal 1 will be $489,910. Again, this should be implemented over a 5-year period. The materials purchased involve cables, routers, and Wi-Fi components. Goal 2 will be the purchase of the hardware needed. The total cost of implementation of Goal 2 will be $1,175,700. This goal should be in effect and include the Lenovo tabs, Chromebooks, covers, and cases needed to protect them. Goal 3 will be the purchase of the software and updates needed to use the hardware. The total cost of this will be $1,885,538. This includes a salary for a social media director, as well as Microsoft Office for students and staff. The social media director will be directly in charge of professional development and assistance for the implementation of the tech as well. This plan will take 5 years to fully implement, and the tools of success for this program will depend on the timeline of implementation. As previously stated, it is 5 years to full implementation. It is to improve student engagement and greatly affect learning outcomes along the way. It should also increase school and community engagement and provide students with the tools for success in the digital future, which we are all moving toward. The next step would be measurement and assessment of impact on education, because this data would correlate with other school districts who have done the same. And if there are any things that need to be changed, that way it can be addressed with the data collected.
Now, with presenting this plan to you, members of the board, we do hope that you have a clear view as to what we are anticipating with the new collaborative technology plan. We would like to thank you all for coming in today, and thank you so much for your time.